And good morning. Good morning. What a great, great morning. Why? Because this is the day of the Lord. This is the only day that exists. And it has been blessed before our seeming appearing. And yet we are there. We were there, always there, as the morning seems to appear. Our reading for today, James 1:24 1:22 through 25. James. But be ye, today's title, Beholding That Which I Am. This is recording 603. Beholding that which I am. James 1:22 through 25. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any man be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass or mirror. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. What can you add to that? We are given an opportunity. We are shown that if we are persistent in that opportunity, the result will be so satisfying that we will wonder why we didn't start it earlier. Beholding that which I am. As the message that comes forth from and through me gets stronger and stronger, it may run some of you off. But those who stay, you are most welcome. And those who may decide that this is not for them, you will be welcomed should you decide to return. For the Lord has said one thing: too long have we stayed in this mountain. Let us move on. What does he mean? It is time for us to be doers of the word and the work. Why? Because hearing the word causes us to feel good, causes us to even come forth with some nice things that we do. But as long as we walk away from that beholding that we are, as long as we walk away from that, we forget who we are, and we become even more entangled in the ordinances and rudiment workings of this world. And we walk away and we begin to take on things, take on beliefs that are not true. We begin to believe that God has created a world of sickness, disease, poverty, hate, murder, self-indulgences. And yet God has told us that at the end of 6 days, he rested. And he hallowed the seventh day. And in the book of Hebrews, we are told what? That he who has entered into this rest, what rest? The same rest that God entered into. Is that possible? He said it was. We had a scripture today that says that if we be dead in Christ, why do we still live by ordinances of the world? Because we have been taught that the ordinances of this world are real, and they are not. The ordinance of this world, can you actually believe that God created sickness, disease? Can you actually believe that God creates poverty, punishment? Can you actually believe that God kills little babies? Can you actually believe that God murders innocent people, incarcerates? You see, we have become entrapped in a world of good and evil. And God has said, let he who has ears to hear, eyes to see, let him rise up from that impoverishing position and come unto me. James tells us, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. That's a mindset. That's a mindset. It's like the 49er who decided. That story's true. There's what? There's gold in them there hills. And their mindset was that they were going to pursue this investigation until it proved true for them. Be ye doers of the word. This is James, one of the apostles. What is he saying? He's telling us that he had proven to himself. You cannot motivate people to do something that you don't know. Okay? You ain't got no business out here talking about something you don't know to be true. They said. Many times in conversation, I have to send back to the person that I'm talking to, who is they. Fill me in. Not that I'm denying what you're talking about. I just need a little bit more information on what we're talking about so I can follow you. I've come to a point now that to listen to people talk, I put myself in the back seat of whatever vehicle they're talking. Even if they're talking to me, I put me in the back seat. I'm just listening now. Okay? Because we all talk with confidence. We all talk as though we know what we're talking about, even though we know we don't. Be ye doers of the word, not hearers only. What does a hearer and not a doer do? Deceives himself. Can you see that? You're not deceiving anyone into believing something that you don't believe. You're deceiving yourself by believing that just hearing something. Now you can see why so many prayers don't get answered. Why? Because they're repeating words. They're repeating words that they've heard. The words are true. But they're just repeating these words without a boom. Like the question that I asked this morning in Sunday school. We have a prophet. And it says that the prophet, in the day of the Lord, the angel of the Lord, the presence of the Lord comes upon him and gives him a scroll with words written on it. And he eats the scroll. And it goes down into his belly, and it immediately mixes in his belly with words that are already there, beliefs that are already there. And upon seeing the revelation of the light of the word, he looks to the angel or addresses the angel and he says, OMG, I am a man of foul speech. Where did he get that interpretation, that revelation? He saw himself, and yet he's a prophet. And he saw that sometimes having the honor of being a prophet, we are carrying bad belief. For even though he knows that God is real and God is true, he recognizes that he's carrying beliefs that are not true. And he says, I see myself. Job does the same thing. I heard about you, Lord, but now I see you. Joseph, who is put in prison for 13 years, had every right to pay his brothers back for what they had done to him. And yet when he sees them, what does he say? It was not you that sent me here. What? It was God, because God knew 13 years ago we were going to need this day. You see, so what you think you're going through is only a throwing off of these world beliefs that we have taken in because someone taught us that this is the way it works. And you do the best you can because in the end, you're going to be rewarded. That's a lie. Don't you believe it? What is the first word in James? First three words, what does it say? Who is not deceived? The person that is a doer of the word and not a hearer only. And without casting pictures and names, you know them, don't you? With yourself included. You know them. Out there just talking about how good God is, and they're telling you the truth. But that word has not gone down in their treasure chest and mixed itself that you might see who you are. Nicodemus saw it. He saw it to the point where he says, I might not be strong enough to do it in the day, but I can go at night and meet with Jesus and have him explain, what are you doing with your time when you're sitting up and wondering, when you're sitting up and worrying, when you're sitting up with concerns? What are you doing? Are you asking for the light to dispel the darkness? Or are you saying, God, why aren't you helping me? And the answer is given right here. What? Be a doer. Be a doer. For if any man be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass or mirror. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway, what does he do? Forget what manner of man he was. If you don't believe I'm telling you the truth, just go listen to a few episodes of Nephew Tommy. I know some of you have already listened. Those people are being pranked, right? But what people are failing to see is that they're being exposed to the whole world as to the conversations that they're holding with themselves internally. And I was talking to my wife about it. I said, if somebody called to prank me, you know, at some point in time in that first minute or so, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go, no. Oh, whoa. No, I think you done dialed up the wrong person. We need to end this conversation. I'm not going to go into what you doing. Who you think you are? Because like a traveling salesman, what do they tell you? Let him talk about his goods, but don't you dare what? Don't you dare ask him a question. Because the moment you ask him a question, he got you. He's going to start telling you about the colors. He's going to start telling you about the performance. He's going to start, and, well, I can save you a lot of money. When was the last time, and I know some of you probably did, but when was the last time that some of you walked around one curtains? I'm not saying that you don't do it, that you don't but how many people do you know vacuum their curtains every week? Not very many. But when he shows you the dirt that comes out, you immediately start looking at what else could be in my house. And then if it's in my house, what can it do? It can kill me. Look at where you're headed. Now you go sit down on the couch and you start looking at the cushions on either side unless you sit on the corner, right? And what are you doing now? Oh, I don't dare lay down and take a nap because I'll be breathing in not only the dirt, but I'm also bringing in them dust mites and whatnot. Oh, it can kill me when God says, I'm with you always. See, the man looked into the mirror. He looked into a mirror, a natural man. Why do they use examples? Because we're familiar with this world that we live in. I look in the mirror, and I know I have looked and said, I need to shave a little bit closer right there. I need to get this. And then all of a sudden you go out into the world and someone mentions gray hair or stubble, and you go to rubbing on your face, don't you? You go to wondering, do they see? But I was fine when I left the house. I was cool with it, wasn't I? Well, you look all right. Yeah, you do okay. But I get out here, and you notice somebody staring at your eye, and they just keep staring at your eye, and you wonder, do they see that? Are they looking at that knot? Then you start to put your hand up to your eye and rub. You see? That's what he's telling us. We look in the mirror, We see, I'm okay, ties straight, my collar's right. Yeah, I'm pretty good, got my aroma on, my hair, yeah, okay, yeah. And we get out in the street and forget who we are. Don't let the wind blow. Oh, my hair. But see, I don't have that to worry about. But the bottom line is, think about the person who had their hair perfect. Remember the coach for the Dallas Cowboys named Jimmy Johnson? Every hair, always. It looked like somebody had taken a hat called hair and sat on his head. Now you look at him, he doesn't seem to be so caught up, but he still has the same hairdo. For this man beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Whoa. Whoa. What is he saying here? You looked in the mirror, you saw that everything was okay, but you walked away and you allowed someone to look at you. And you immediately began to think, what? Something's wrong. Forgetteth what manner of man he was. Then he brings it home. He says, but whoso looketh. You ever tried to look at something and you couldn't really, like I saw you doing a while ago, Joe? You couldn't really focus on what it was, and you squinted your eyes so you could, I see what that word is. See, that's what he's saying. He who looketh in the perfect law of freedom. What is the perfect law of freedom? The law of creation that created you, the law that made you, the law that gives you life, the law that sustains you, the law that gave you growth, the law that what's the word? Lifts you up, the law that rewards you with life. It says you looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continues therein. Whoa. What is the continues therein? Jesus said, look not at the things which are appearing before you. Don't make a judgment because that person called you a name. Don't make a judgment because that person stole the place that you were getting ready to go. Don't make a judgment because that person stole your boyfriend. Don't make a judgment because that person stole your girlfriend. Don't make a judgment. Because you got to remember, boyfriend, girlfriend was on the other end of that decision. Get it? So they didn't steal anything. You were probably blessed to find out that they were not as committed to you as you were committed to them. See, the things that appear to us in this world, he said, don't make a judgment, because the things that you are looking at are not made of the things which do appear. You mean they're made of something else? That's right. That's what you should be looking at, what they're actually made of. What are they made of? Well, how many creators are there? Yeah, I know. You really believe there's a devil. You really believe there's a devil out there. If there is a devil out there, I need you to just think about this. If there's a devil out there, look at the control he got over your life. You say, so-and-so made me do this. So-and-so made me act like that. Oh, did they? Whose tongue is in your mouth? Whose words are in your mouth? Oh, you really believe there's a devil out there? If you believe there's a devil out there, then we don't have a perfect God. Hello? Because in the beginning, God was the only existence, is the only existence. And whatsoever was made by him, and there was not anything made that was made that he did not make. and everything was made for his pleasure. So how in the world could he make something imperfect? Why would he make an evil part of himself and then come in the scriptures and say, I can't even look at evil? Huh? Wow. It's the mindset. Are you able to see the perfection of God while good and evil are standing before you? Whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, persist in seeing the presence of God where even good stands. That's the odd thing of this. Even good. You know that thing you call good? You ever got anything that happened that was good and somebody went out and badmouthed you over it? Come on. Why in the world would God do that to you? That's why Jesus says, they said, good master. And he says, don't call me good. You see, they were talking about an appearance that they perceived to be a good person, and he was referring to the perfection of God that he knew was the only existence. So don't call me good. He's responding totally different than they are addressing him. They're addressing him as somebody in this world, and he's addressing or responding as to that which is beyond this world. So he who looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continues, persists therein, he being not a forgetful hearer. Y'all know those forgetful hearers, don't you? You know, they out there bad-mouthing everything, right? You ever notice that? They bad-mouthing everything. Till you mention God. You mention Jesus Christ, and then immediately they go to church. Why? You're reminding them. You're reminding them of where their mindset, their heart is. And they go off to talking about things in this world. Time for you to end that conversation, because this lady the other day that went off with all of these, I mean, she was just coming out of her mouth with all kinds of mess. She's a pastor. And you know what was really absurd? She went so far into that she began speaking in tongues. I started laughing, and I said, I need to learn that language so that when I get to heaven and I get mad at somebody in heaven, I can cuss them out in tongues, and God won't be upset. To see the things that we don't make that change. When you look into the perfect law and really are sincere, it opens itself up and begins to reveal to you the glory that you're looking at. The realization that you don't have to worry about what people are doing and talking. Think about it. Now look at the life of Jesus Christ as he walked on this earth and didn't give a hoot about what anybody said or did. Did you notice that? Never gave it a hoot. Be still. Peace, be still. Go. Be fed. Rise up, walk. Why? Because he knew where he came from. He was not a forgetful looker. He was not a forgetful hearer. And the song we sang earlier today, Joy to the World, song only sung at Christmas time, but should be sung every day. Why? Because when Jesus Christ entered this world as the visible image of God, he brought what to this world? Joy. And he said, whosoever follows after my lead, it says, this man is a doer of the work. You don't have to go out here and do anything. Please hear me. You just have to accept this truth and just keep accepting it no matter what your eyes and senses or looking at. You keep accepting this because it's the Father that doeth the work, not you. I don't care how much you want to make yourself look like a good follower, a good disciple. You can't do it. It's not within the power of a man to make himself good by knowing and memorizing words. It's not there. It's when that light of that word drops down in your treasure chest and you see yourself as you are in this world and you say, oh my goodness, that's what I am. That's who I am. Lord, you got to have something better for me than this. Like I tell God all the time, if you don't want to do anything with me, take me out of here. I'm ready to go. I don't want to be down here if you're not going to do something. Because walking around here trying to go, yeah, Rev cool. Rev help you. Rev do anything for you. That ain't it, y'all. That's not it. What is the reality? The reality is I will walk with them. Come on now. I will be within them. I shall be their God. They shall be my people. Like I said, I'm going to do the Beatitudes down the road down there. Because I got a real nice revelation that on the tail end it says, blessed are they who have entered into, who see God. Because in seeing God, God's mercy is extended to you. People don't realize he was teaching a lifelong lesson in the Beatitudes. And we just thought they were good attitudes to be. No, they're not. It says, this man who has entered into the presence of God now sees God. When he sees God, that's what the prophet saw. When he sees God, it says mercy has been extended to him, and he can now extend mercy. He doesn't have anything else. And when as he extends mercy, it says he shall be called peacemaker. Children of God. You see, we need to understand the work is to allow the word to drop in our treasure chest. As it drops in our treasure chest, it exposes the good and evil that's there. That's not really who we are. That good and evil is that which we have entertained to take care of ourselves in this ugly world we're in. It exposes it. And I said, how in the world did a sinner, who is the prophet, how in the world did he get in the presence of God? Because we were taught God don't hear sinners, right? Yes, he do. Yes, he do. Because when your heart turns to God, you're looking light. And God, being your Father, knows that you are not responsible for the ugly that you're living. You picked it up as a protective agency because you didn't know. You didn't know how to seek the light. But one day the light came to you, and it was written on a page, black, white, black and red on a white page, and you did eat it. And it went down and exposed who you were. And what did the prophet say? Oh, my God, I am a man of unclean lips, and I live amongst a people of unclean lips. Oh, Lord, help me. And the Lord said, his eyes are coming open. I need somebody to go to the people. And what does he say next? Here I am, Lord. Send me. Are you willing to go? Because if you're not willing to go, you may as well just be that person that looked in the mirror and said, man, I look good. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to set this event, whatever it is, I'm going to set it on fire. And walked away and the wind blew. And you wondered if that little curl that you brought down across your eyebrow, you wondered if it was still there in place. Because that was going to be your calling card. The Lord said, he said, here I am, Lord, send me. And immediately my speech changes. I have no words. I have no words to say now, because it's the Father that speaketh, and he speaketh from within me. He is allowing me to behold, get this, behold that which I am. In seeing God, I am beholding myself, created in the image and likeness of him that is all pure. 2 Corinthians 3:18, my most favorite scripture. But we all with open face. What were you taught? You can't get in the face of God, right? If you look at God, what's going to happen? You're going to die. That is 100% true. If you ever see God, guess what? You're going to die right there on the spot. Because we all, look here, we all with open face. Open face means what? Nothing hidden. No mask. No veil. We all with open face. That's why we're invited to come into the Holy of Holies. The veil is rent. The veil in the temple was rent, was it not? We were invited to come into the Holy of Holies. Who can go in the Holy of Holies but a priest? Come as you are, right? So we all with open face see as in a mirror. There that mirror is again. What are we looking at when we look into the Holy of Holies? We're seeing the glory of the Lord. But it doesn't say that we're going to walk away and forget, does it? It says, and we shall be transformed into the same likeness. When you look in the mirror, what are you looking at with your natural personage? Aren't you looking at yourself? But when we look in the perfect law of liberty, which is the Word of God, which is telling us how wonderful God is, and that this wonderfulness he has put on us, we are seeing the glory of the Lord. Now, how much glory does God have? Paul said, I remember on the Damascus Road, I was introduced to Jesus Christ. He said, and the glory of the Lord spoke to me, and the Lord took me and told me he was going to teach me how to live for him. And after 9 years, he sends me on a missionary journey. What? How many of y'all did like I did? Came into church crying, hooping and hollering, and I need to get saved. I need to be baptized. If the Lord wants me to speak in tongues, that'll be okay, but I really don't need that. I just want to be saved. And after we got baptized, went out into the world telling everybody how to live for God. And God made Paul wait 9 years. Come on. Paul knew more Bible than we would even think of back then. And God said, yeah, but you ain't ready. You ain't ready yet. Why? Because I need you to keep looking in that mirror. I need you to keep looking at that glory that I am. That glory that met you on the Damascus Trail. I need you to keep looking at it. Just keep looking at it. Keep looking at it. Accept it. Accept it. Accept it. Don't worry about you're not getting the results. Just keep accepting. Keep accepting. Keep accepting. And you shall be transformed into the very same likeness. What likeness? Mine. You shall be transformed into the very same likeness that I am. And look, from one glory to another. Oh, my goodness. Now we understand why Paul says, I've been walking with the Lord all these years now. I've not fully attained, but I press on toward the high calling. What? Here's a man that wrote most of the New Testament, and he's saying, I still got a ways to go. And here we are down here trying to tell folks, God going to get you for that. God going to say, hey, there ain't one person in the sounding of my voice right there. There's only one person going to heaven. Get that? It's you. Stop trying to drag other people with you. It can't be done. You got to get there. Because once you get there, well, Rev, I ain't ready to die. Well, you need to be. Because the scripture said if you look at God face to face, you're going to die. But the dying is a transformation. It is not that being stretched out in the wagon, as my daughter used to call it. Daddy, why they got the man stretched out in the wagon? Because he gone. He ain't coming back. That's not it. God is saying, keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Why? Because I'm going to turn you into the likeness that I am. Well, who do we know that walked in the likeness of God? Was it not Jesus Christ who came and what did he proclaim? Joy to the world, for I am come. Let earth and nature sing. Well, hello to you out there. Are you part of the earth? Mm-hmm. Are you part of nature? Mm-hmm. You see, if you don't get in this word and start digging, you're going to end up out here as a willful hearer, but a reluctant doer, deceiving who? Yourself. Everybody else know you fake. Just go sit down and talk to what we call disciples and followers. You know they fake. They don't know they fake because they have been told that in the future their reward is going to come. How in the world can God reward fakeness? Come on, think about it. I did the best I could, Lord, and now I am ready to come home, and God going to come and touch you, bing, and you're going to suddenly be changed in the twinkling of an eye. That's a lie, y'all. Don't you believe that? But what I just told you is, if you look in the perfect law, the Spirit of the Lord will come and touch you, bing, while you're in this body. You get it? Will touch you, bing, and you will be changed. And then your eyes will come open, and you will say, like Paul, oh, what a wonderful gift do we carry in these earthen vessels. You probably won't be able to talk to very many people after that because they'll think you done lost your mind. So now what do? In secrecy and sacredness, you walk around carrying this understanding with you, and you watch the world be transformed right before your eyes while everybody is swirling around the tidy bowl drain. This man shall be blessed. Jesus says, as we get ready to close here, in John 16:7, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. Bing. What is he doing right here? On my honor as the most beloved Eagle Scout that there is. Okay? Like the man in Lonesome Dove, like Newt said to Mr. Dunnigan, Cap don't lie. Cap don't lie. That's your money pouch. And if I have to, I'll kill you myself. See what I'm saying? New Cap. He knew it. This is what Jesus is saying. Or John. Nevertheless, but Jesus said it, I tell you the truth. It is expedient. Does anybody know what the word expedient means? Man, we got to make this happen right now. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. If I don't leave, you can't look in the perfect law of liberty and have the revelation revealed to you. That's what he's saying. So I got to get away from here, because if I stay here, y'all going to be lined up outside my house day and night asking me to do stuff. And I'm trying to tell you, it's not me that does it, Jesus is saying. Who is it? It's the Father. It's the confirmation of this Spirit that comes to you that confirms that what I have told you is the truth. To have conferred upon us a significant position or relationship of sons of God, and to ignore it, to not take it to heart, that's the travesty. That's the travesty of man. Well, where did I get? How can I make a comment like that? 1 John 3:1. Who is John? John is a disciple who Jesus brought from being a fisherman. He stayed with Jesus 3 years and then went on into ministry. And what does John witness and say? Behold, what manner of love. Love ye one another. This thing is based on love. Behold, what manner. See, I can tell you I love you. But if I don't know what love is, I'm giving you the best of what I believe to be my behavior. But what if it doesn't sit right with you? What do you want? I need you to act like this. Okay. Now I got to go learn what this is, right? Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. You mean I don't have to go learn what love is? No. Why? Because the Father's love has been bestowed on me already. It's hidden under this cluster of clumsiness that I'm living in. And it has to be thrown off. How do I throw it off? Looking in the face of God and accepting who God is. And that manner of love is going to push through, just like that little weed that pushes up through the sidewalk. We don't know how long it was down in there, do we? One day it popped through. What was it doing? It was snaking up through there, wasn't it? What was it receiving? It was receiving warmth. It was receiving what? Sunlight. It was receiving water. And whatever other nourishment there is, it was receiving that unknown to us. That's what the kingdom of heaven is like. You keep looking at it. You keep looking at it. You keep looking at it. And you said, I don't want to live this ugliness. I don't want to be unsure. And those nutrients just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. He says, behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. It is God's desire that we be called the sons of God. And get this now, not in some city that we go to called heaven, because you're going to go there. And in fact, when you realize that you are the Son of God, you're already there. Where does God live? In heaven. When you come to the realization that you are the Son of God, you're immediately there. God says, heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Oh, my goodness. You mean the earth is where God finds rest Yes. And how does he find rest? In me. He finds his rest in me, understanding who I am. Who will build a house for me, saith the Lord? Who will build the place of my rest? He wants to rest in us, but not as an entity separate from us, but as the entity that is the substance that we are, blessed in all our deeds. Therefore, John says, the world knoweth us not because it knew him not. So don't be out here trying to get the world to acknowledge that you a do-gooder. Okay? Get yourself in a sacred relationship of one-on-one with God, and the Father will begin to shout from the rooftops of your understanding who you are without you even knowing it. But we all, with open face, see as in a mirror the glory of the Lord. This is a promise. If you don't believe me, read the whole chapter, 2 Corinthians chapter 3. This is a promise. And God can't go back on his promises. He says, if you look at me long enough, at some point in time, you're going to say, oh, I see you. Like in the movie Peter Pan. Remember when the little, was it the third ball? Remember when he's pulling on the guys, pulling on Robin Williams' eyes? And he's pulling and he's pulling. Is that? And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, there you are. I see you. That's what God is asking us to do. Keep looking in the words that are written on the page, but don't just read them. Don't just take them. Look at them, and just keep looking. And all of a sudden the words will jump out of the page and jump down into your heart, and you'll go, oh, there you are. I see you. Now you're being transformed into the same likeness from one glory to another. Hello? There is no evil spirit between the glories. Got it? God's path is glory to glory to glory. There is no devil in between there to halt you. So he says, we are transformed into the same likeness from one glory to another, just as the Spirit comes from the Lord. What evil can invade the Spirit of God? I know not any. Jesus says, I will not leave you comfortless. That's a promise. Can't do it. He can't even think about leaving you comfortless. I will come to you. What? You keep looking. You keep looking, and that Spirit is going to come. It has to. Why will it come? That you may have a personal beholding of that which I am. God bless you. Let's have a little meditation. Let's have a huge meditation. Behold, now are we the sons of God. The glory of the Lord is upon us. I need do nothing but accept. As I accept, I am forgiven. I am forgiven because he who loved me paid a price and went to the crucifixion to pay. I glory now in the understanding that I'm never separated. The glory of God is all about me, and I need do nothing but accept. As for longevity, I care not for that. For I realize that it is the Father's doing, to will and to do of his own good pleasure. For I offer now myself, a living sacrifice, that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there be freedom. I need not to know exactly what he'll do beforehand. Why? Because he does it. And he does it with me knowing that it is done. I will glory. I will glory that the substance of God is the substance that I am, that I am clothed in righteousness. I need not tell anyone this. I simply accept. And regardless of what my eyes or senses see or perceive, I accept. This is the fight. This is the victory that overcomes the world. My faith. For I realize that God is that Spirit. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is pure liberty and freedom. For God has truly shown me his face. And I am truly blessed. Speak, Lord. Speak. Your servant is listening.